Ever since the financial crisis, something has become very clear. The banks exist to steal your money, and they don't give a damn if you know that. They have made it obvious that your money isn't safe with them. Every chance they get, they take money from shareholders, from bondholders, from individual depositors, and taxpayers. As long as the CEOs get their massive paychecks, the banks are happy. You came here for the truth. Let's look at what's happening right now with the CEO bonuses. I want to connect that in with a few other things. Hopefully this will be a quick video for you. Just want to update you on a few things. Pay raises are back in style in the corner office, wiping out cuts from a year earlier and pushing CEO compensation to new highs amid surging stock market. You've seen what's happened, obviously, with the stock market. It's been rising, and this has been going on now approximately since around the Trump being put into office. Of course, just before then, it had risen a few percent as well. Now, since March 2009, the stock market has been in its bull run. So it has risen considerably. And we know that why the truth of this is because of all of the QE, because of all of the TARP and all the stimulus that has found its way into the stock market. You can't really control it so much, but it has found its way into equities. There's no doubt. You look at the result of this financial crisis just after stocks came tumbling down, you had people losing jobs, everything was terrible, but the CEO bonuses were something that made me laugh in a way, because you would see an individual getting, a mega million CEO bonus, and then he goes and buys a condo with it. Meanwhile, the company had to fire, a quarter of its employees or something. I mean, this type of activity happened many times. Median pay for the chief executives of the 104 of the biggest American companies rose 6.8% for the fiscal 2016 to $11.5 million, on track to set a post-recession record. So you have these individuals making a considerable amount of money, and they are able to use that money to buy their way into whatever they need. That's just a fact. It's their choice if the company wants to give them that amount of money. But I would say that when you are firing a whole block of individuals, and then you give that to the CEO bonuses, then you so happen to have, these CEOs are on the board of this company or that company, and they're an advisor to the government, and then the alumni are working in the government of that company back and forth. I mean, they're intertangled so greatly into all industries. People think it's just the financial industry. No, just keep looking. Every industry is the same exact thing. It's all insiders, and guess what? They work against us. All right, moving on. This is just one small piece. As Ontario's salary freeze ends, big raises get a chilly reception. So, of course, as soon as they stop the salary freeze, immediately they go up. It's just like the debt ceiling. If you say, okay, you can only spend 20 trillion in the amount of debt, that's it. And then you say, you know what? 21 million, fine. It's going to go to 21 million. That's just the way it is. That's the way they work. And you have a few individuals that will come out and speak the truth. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Because the CEOs, the big corporations, they own the government. They own the government. They control it. And you can't, for a second, can't believe that it's any other way. Just look at it. Just look at the facts. These financial institutions on the brink of extinction come to the American taxpayer for hundreds and billions of dollars. At the very same time, they think they're going to buy a $50 million corporate jet. They're going to pay out $18 billion in bonuses. They get paid an average of $2.6 million to every executive at the 116 banks that got taxpayer money under TARP. Your money is being used to bail out, yes, the institution, but you want to be more specific. It's actually giving the CEOs and the executives their salaries and their bonuses. And this is the type of thing that makes me sick, because they are able to then do whatever they want. Meanwhile, people are starving. People are, they can't find work. And there are a lot of individuals who are simply gaining because of their influence on the government. Of course, it works both ways. And I'll just read you one more line. In the 2008 election cycle, House Financial Services Committee's members received more than $26 million in campaign donations from the finance, insurance, and real estate sector. And it goes on. And guess what happens when those sectors are in trouble? They get bailed out. They get helped. But you as an individual, you don't get anything. You don't get a single ounce of anything. And in fact, you probably get a kick in the behind if they could manage that one. Instead, the money that should be spent on you, make sure that you're doing well, or at least not preventing you from doing well, they do this. Take off for police drones, Air Force, remote-controlled flying squad to chase criminals and hunt for missing people. So now the drones are finding their way into the police environment. It's not just, individuals just want to take pictures from the sky. It's becoming more invasive, more pervasive. And this is a double-edged sword. It's a piece of technology, like anything else. Could be used for good, could be used for wrong, could be used for just, individuals just want to have a good time. I just see it as a little bit gray area. It can definitely cross the line and everything else. I mean, you look at all of the Big Brother boxes they have everywhere spying on everyone, and you can say that, if somebody commits a crime here, they'll catch it on camera. And that's true. I think that's a great thing. However, they're basically arbitrarily listening and watching everything. And that is where it becomes a little bit of a problem. All I would say is that, the money is always funneled into the wrong direction. There would be less crime. There would be less poverty and homelessness and all of the problems that we have today. And instead, they use the money and squander it, give it to CEOs instead of using it towards increasing prosperity. What a joke. And then it goes deeper. Inquiry by CIA affirms it spied on the Senate panel. In fact, this was back from 2014. And the reason I mention this is because, you have a lot of talk about the CIA spying and this and that recently. And, it makes news. But whatever happens, nothing. Why? Why is nothing ever happening? Well, the fact is that these institutions, corporations, all of the big boys, you name it, whether it's the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, or even the major corporations out there, they all commit fraud, crimes, everything. And the worst they ever get is a slap on the wrist. How many times do we need to explain this? Look what happened. The NSA spying on everybody. They find out there's a tower in Manhattan, a skyscraper in Manhattan that's being used to spy on people. The entire building. And then you have all the revelations. Edward Snowden, Bradley Manning. You have what's happened more recently with the recent leaks that we've seen. Actually, there's been a few. Who gets in trouble? The person who leaked them. Not a single person who is actually responsible for this criminality. And then you think one step deeper. Why aren't people figuring this out? Why aren't people talking about it? So on. Well, you look at this. Another group of kids attempting to take a selfie on top of some ice at the pond in Central Park plunged into its icy waters. People aren't paying attention. I'm just using this as an example. They're not paying attention. They don't care about what's happening in their lives. And it is very frightening to me because people need to realize how serious this is. Everything that's been going on and nobody gives a damn. It's just a fact. And now for a little humor. We made the stock market rise, so they'll never believe the money GPS. And there's Janet Yellen laughing at me. But I just found it funny. I thought that I'd make this just to show what we've been seeing recently on the channel is a lot of individuals. They're seeing the stock market make new highs. They've invested most likely in the tech sector, and they are, what they believe, making good money. Of course, until they sell, they haven't made anything. But these individuals believe that they are getting wealthy. And perhaps they are. If you are, I truly mean it. Good for you. But this channel, it's not about that. It's about much more. It's about getting into a state of self-sufficiency. If you have all of your assets in the stock market, okay, you're not self-sufficient. And maybe you don't want to be that. But that's not what this is about. Just remember that. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. Last but not least, you can check out my books at Amazon. There's a link in the description of this video. And you can go over there, flip through the books, and see if you like it for yourself. Take care.